Welcome. My name is Benoit Baudry, and I'm very happy to see all of you here for both an inauguration and a celebration. So today, with this event, we inaugurate the CASTOR Research Center for Advanced Software Technology. So we celebrate the beginning of a new center, but we also celebrate the achievement of this. And this is the fact that we are here today and that we start the center is already an achievement and the result of very long work. And in particular, those 6 people, 5 of them are here, one will come later. Mats Dam, Stefan Andersson, Christian Schulte, Katrin Grambom, Stefan Hagdal, and Jens Sander have worked very hard since 5 years to make this happen. And so I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. So this is it. We are here to celebrate with them the achievement of the creation and the setup and the signing of the agreement that will allow us to start this research center. And of course, we're also there to inaugurate this center and to start it today. So CASTOR, very rapidly, in a nutshell, if I would have to say 3 things, this is what we have right now. We have academia industry joint venture, joint research center. The founding partners, KDH, Saab, and Ericsson, share the investment in this center, which is focusing on software technology. And right now we have a first period agreement for 3 years, starting in May this year and for the next 3 years. So what did we agreed upon as what we want to do in terms of research and software technology? So one thing that we have put forward in the objectives, the first objective of the center, is to train graduate students. So all of us believe that this is a good time frame, a good level of expertise. This is what we want to invest in. We want to train graduate students. We want to train experts in software technology. We want them to acquire knowledge from academia and industry and to become experts in this field of software technology. And so this is why we've put this objective as the first one. The second one, of course, is that we want this academia-industry collaboration to be fruitful for everyone. So we want this to be an opportunity to have embedded research. We want this to be an opportunity to have chances of transferring results from research to industry. And we also want this to be an opportunity for industry partners to learn about what we do at KDH and what students do and what we can offer as expertise in software technology. We have put also a strong emphasis on openness and open science and innovation. It's been one way of handling IP. So this is it. So basically, one thing that we have signed is a framework that also handles, or mostly handles, IP. And so one way of handling it is to make everything open. And so we emphasize open science, open source software, open publications. Another important objective of the research center, I was discussing it with some of you earlier, is to structure the software area at KDH. Right now there are many people doing software research at KDH, but it's pretty much scattered in different departments, different schools even, and so we want CASTOR to be a showcase for all this activity that happens in multiple places in order to increase its visibility and to increase the opportunities for collaboration. And the last one is that we want to deliver tools. So we want all of this to be useful, all of those results to be useful and eventually transferred. And we believe that software tools is a good way to do this. So I've talked about focus on software technology. So many people here might think that this is a big area. Kia was wondering this morning what software engineering was all about anyway. So this is what we have right now. So at KDH, as I said earlier, many people do software research, and we have organized it around 4 main topics, which are, of course, not completely distinct from each other, but coarse grain, this is it. So there's a strong focus on reliability engineering and in particular continuous integration and deployment, testing, repair, port injection. A strong expertise in security, in particular at the software-hardware interface with different form of formal verification and analyses. A strong emphasis on data-driven systems, distributed systems, and all the distributed infrastructure to support large-scale analytics and machine learning. And a strong expertise in embedded systems, and in particular methodologies, languages to tailor or to focus on correct embedded systems, correct embedded software. CASTOR activities, okay, we do research in those four main areas, but so how do we do this? I've already mentioned that we want to focus on training graduates, and in particular we wish and we are pursuing all our efforts to focus on one specific instrument, which is industry PhD. Again, because by design this will train graduates, but also it will train, it's a way to train graduates which have this opportunity to have both an expertise or knowledge from industry or the domain-specific problems and the domain-specific culture of software, as well as a training in advanced technology and training in research. So hopefully this is what we will use as the main instrument. Right now we are starting the process of looking at how we can do this. Another thing that we are doing right now, that we are starting, are seed projects. So seed projects will be funded directly by the center. And I think one of the ideas is that one of the things that is maybe challenging to have an industry PhD is not only to find funding and to find a good candidate, but even more difficult is to find the right topic, which fits research interests from academics as well as the real problems that companies need to fix. And this is not easy. We were discussing with Ingemar and Stefan that just doing the exercise of, okay, if we were about to express what we really want, what would that be? And it is not easy. And so the idea of seed projects, I think, is to try things, to try to, on small project, short-term project, to try something. Is that the problem that would be interesting for you to solve? Is that a problem that would be interesting for me to investigate as a research project? And so here there's an opportunity to fund those short-term seed projects, which eventually become bigger through a PhD, for example, or even larger through a collaborative project, or which just don't go anywhere and it's bounded and boxed. The other instrument that we want to use and that we already used are collaborative projects. So here we're talking about projects in which partners from the CASTOR Center are involved, as well as others, and that are funded by multiple sources. So if you go today on the website, you will see multiple projects which started and which involve some of us as well as others. And so here I'm talking about EU projects, I'm talking about SSF projects, Vinova projects, I'm talking about WASP, and we'll come back to it later. And so all of this, the whole idea of all these activities is basically to always try to get mutual benefits in terms of visibility and understand what problems exist, what problems are relevant for industry, what problems will be relevant for the next term, and also what exists within KDH, what are we doing, what kind of competence we can bring, what kind of technology we are developing, and where are we heading in the state of the art. So here I want to acknowledge also people who are involved in starting up these operations. So myself, Christian Schulte, and Mats Dam and Frédéric Loiret are KDH faculty and KDH personnel who are involved in managing the center, and we are very grateful to Gabriela Ogren, Madeleine Prinzol, and Alexandra, who is over there, to help us on a daily basis to set up this center. We are advised, and we have the great support of the CASTOR board, which is composed of Catherine Grandboom from Ericsson, Stefan Andersson from Saab, and Jens Sander from KTH. And of course, all of this happens thanks to students. So there are a couple of PhD students here doing great software technology that will change the world in a couple of years. Faculty members who are here, as well as engineers from industry, so all of you. Just a quick word about who is here. We don't have the opportunity to go through the room, but just to let you know, the people who are here are mostly KDH, Ericsson, and Saab. And there are a few people here and there that you might bump into. So there's one person from the French embassy, which I'm very glad to see here. We have also representatives from ABB and Scania, and a person from Vinova who is here. And all the others are basically KDH, Saab, and Ericsson. And we have also, you will hear him, a legend, the first ever software engineering graduate in the history of Swedish academia, Professor Robert Felt from Chalmers. Yeah. He allowed me to say this. And all these operations occur in the very simple jungle of the academic industry environment that we have here. We have the same in France. So it's a very simple environment, only a few funding agencies, a couple of national programs, and other adventures within the university. But so we are very grateful to WASP, which is supporting a number of software technology research within KDH. We also are in touch with different software companies here as well as in Europe, and of course we work closely with funding agencies as well as other universities in Sweden and in Europe. So, in order to finish with this very short introduction, and before we go into the actual meat of the day, I want to finish with this. CASTOR is open. We have designed it to be as open as possible, and so I want to stress those values here again. We will focus on open source, open access publications, open science, and it's also open to new partnerships. We have here some people from outside the CASTOR who will eventually join, and we will have other events where we try to outreach to others, and we really want this center to be as open and welcoming as possible in this area of software technology. So today we inaugurate and we celebrate. So in order to inaugurate, we will first have an hour with 2 talks from Ericsson and Saab, where they will share with us the visions and challenges in terms of software technology in their companies. Then we'll have a small break just outside here, and then we will go on with 2 talks by 2 professors. One from a talk by Robert Felt, who will talk about his experience in terms of software research and collaboration with industry in Sweden. And then a second talk by Kia, who will share her experiences when she ran a research center at KDH in another area, but with the same challenges, I think, in terms of collaboration and getting people to work together. Then we will have a second break. We will almost be done. And we will have speeches, inauguration speeches by Pontus de Laval, Magnus Frödig, who is here, as well as Annika Stenson-Trigel, who is also here, and Pontus will join later. And then I didn't put it, but, and then we will go for dinner. So this is it. This is what I wanted to say as a brief introduction, and without further ado, I will let the floor to Inga. Thank you.